Senator Marco Rubio running to the rescue of the U.S. Olympic athletes. The Florida Senator rolling out a bill to ban the IRS from taxing medal winners. This after a new report showing the tax ban could take nearly $9 grand from athletes taking home a medal and the cash prize that comes with it. Ryan Ellis is with Americans for Tax Reform, the group behind the report. So first of all, how did you find out that the IRS was going to tax Olympic athletes?
Well, it's always been a part of tax law that prizes are taxable. And so if you get a prize for winning a refrigerator on a game show, or you get a prize for winning a medal at the Olympics, as we have, gold medal winners get $25,000 in prizes from the U.S. Olympic Committee. That's considered taxable income by the IRS, and from there it's just a simple matter of math.
All right, and guys, pull up that first one. If you win a gold medal, this is the part that's really even crazy. I mean, you win $25,000, I get it. You have to pay tax on that. But you also pay a tax on the gold in the actual medal itself. Is that right?
Well, technically, it's not just cash that you have to pay taxes on. If you receive a prize for winning anything, and that's a refrigerator on a game show, that's an Olympic gold medal, it doesn't have to be cash. You have to pay taxes on the fair market value of that. So what we did at Americans for Tax Reform is we took a look at what the fair market value of a gold medal would be based on what its alloy composition was and based on commodity prices. Wow. And we found that they're worth a few $100s. You got to pay a couple $100 in taxes even on the medal.
I'm looking at this, and the gold $236 for the medal, $8,750 for the cash prize. Michael Phelps would have a tough time meeting his tax obligation here. He's got 18 of those bad boys at $9 grand each.
That's right. It keeps racking them up. It makes you wonder whether some of these guys are going to start throwing races and getting silvers in order to lower their tax bill.
All right. Now, it's kind of funny. It's kind of outrageous. I'm not sure where I am on that scale, but Senator Rubio picked up on it immediately and said, let's pass a bill. There shouldn't be any votes against this bill, right?
Well, the main problem here that we wanted to point out originally was that no one should have to pay U.S. taxes on income that they earn overseas. We were using the Olympic athletes as an example of that, something people could relate to. What Senator Rubio's bill does is it just exempts U.S. Olympic winnings in general. That's certainly a good idea. It's certainly a tax relief that we would welcome. But the main point is that there's lots of Americans that are earning income overseas, having to pay taxes over there in many cases, and then also having to pay taxes to the IRS. That's why we need to move toward a territorial tax system like most of the rest of the world has.
You're touching on something very important, something I've talked about for a long time on this network and elsewhere, that the repatriation tax. I'm for a 0% repatriation tax. Where are you on that scale?
We would agree with that. The last time there was a round of repatriation, it was back in 2005. There was over $320 billion came back to this country. It was there to fund pension plans and create jobs and expand plant and equipment. It threw off nearly $20 billion in corporate income taxes as a result of coming back over here and having a very small repatriation tax rate. Certainly 0% would be even better. But the bottom line is that going forward, repatriation kind of catches you up from the bad policy you've had up until this point. What we really need is to move toward a system of territoriality where we seek to tax income earned in the United States. But if you earn income outside the United States and pay taxes abroad, you shouldn't have to pay taxes to the IRS, too. Right.
The other part of that plan, as I've offered it, was bring it back at 0%, but take 25% and use that to hire U.S. employees and buy U.S. equipment. I know people say, well, then you're telling them what to do with it. But if you do it that way, then they're going to do it, and you're going to probably have a lot more employment. Some news broke today. John Boehner and Harry Reid got together, and they said, listen, we'd be willing to do a 6-month extension on the tax code, on the tax cuts. But does that kick the can further down the road? Would you support 6 months extension onto the Bush tax cuts?
Well, certainly we want to prevent this tax increase that's happening in December. Not only is it just the rates that we're talking about.
I misspoke. It's on funding the government. I'm sorry, not on taxes.
Well, on the continuing resolution that you're talking about, we think that's a very good idea. Because here's what's going to happen. If we don't have a continuing resolution, by the time that the government needs to start up its new fiscal year, the Democrats are going to be able to say to the Republicans, look, agree to a deal, or we're going to accuse you of shutting down the government. This takes that threat off the table. It pushes things 6 months down the road, so now we can focus after the election on stopping this huge, massive tax-mageddon tax increase, which the Heritage Foundation says is going to be a 1-year tax increase of $500 billion. You can find out information on that as well as all the Olympic stuff on ATR.org.
We've got to leave it there,
but it's imperative that we stop this tax increase from happening in December.
Got to jump. Thank you very much. That's Ryan Ellis, Americans for Tax Reform. Thank you.